However, you tune into the news bulletin today, March the 14th, coming first with local news. Within the first 2 months, the southern province of Dom Nai maintained over 7% in terms of the industrial growth index. However, due to the global issue of COVID-19 pandemic, how to maintain such economic growth is a difficult problem. Following a report of the local authority, key industries of the province still maintain a good growth rate in the first 2 months. However, due to depleting raw material reserves, many businesses have to suspend production. COVID-19 outbreak results in hurdles to import production materials. Besides, many flights from Korea to Vietnam were cancelled. Experts, engineers, and managers of many enterprises cannot return to the factory. This greatly affects the operation of production. The Prime Minister has currently launched a 280 trillion Vietnam dong credit support package to support businesses. The provincial leaders also asked the banking sector to promptly apply measures to support and remove difficulty for enterprises. In addition, departments and localities continue to reform administrative procedures, promptly remove obstacles in production and business of enterprises. The Ministry of Industry and Trade yesterday informed about the status of goods and food supply across the country in March and throughout the remaining months of 2020. According to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, ministries and associations have reported about the supply of some essential commodities, especially estimated rice in 2020 can reach 26 million tons, while domestic demand is about 19 to 20 million tons. Regarding cattle and poultry meat, the total output is expected to reach 5.5 to 5.8 million tons in 2020, up 10% compared to 2019. The Ministry of Industry and Trade assesses such supply can serve 100 million people, not to mention the supply of seafood at about 8.2 million tons per year. In terms of vegetable and fruit, the total output is about 40 to 50 million tons, meeting domestic demand and export. Yesterday afternoon, Dom Nai Children's Hospital held an exercise to receive and treat a patient suspected of having coronavirus 2 in case such patient needs surgical emergency. This is the second time Dom Nai Children's Hospital has conducted the exercise to cope with COVID-19 disease. Accordingly, the General Surgery Department of the hospital will do the practice in the situation of receiving a child patient admitted to the hospital due to pathology and requiring surgical emergency. However, the symptoms also include signs of COVID-19 infection. After admitting the patient and receiving information from the family, the doctor will explain and reassure the patient and family. Next, the patient will be given medical isolation and transferred to the operating room for surgery. After the surgery, the child continues to be isolated in a separate area. Family members and hospital crews who accept the patients are also given proper quarantine isolation until they are confirmed negative for the virus. World News: U.S. President Donald Trump at 3 p.m. Friday local time declared a national emergency due to the coronavirus pandemic. U.S. President Donald Trump underlined measures that his country had carried out so far, including travel suspension in or out of Europe. The national emergency was declared to mobilize sources to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. Trump urged the states to set up emergency operation centers and hospitals to initial emergency plans in an attempt to fulfill the treatment demands from U.S. citizens. More than 1,700 infection cases and 41 deaths were confirmed in the United States. The Pentagon said on Friday it would keep 2 aircraft carrier task forces in the Gulf region after carrying out strikes on 5 rocket depots in Iraq. Central Commander General Kenneth McKenzie said before reporters that the U.S. strikes destroyed the said rocket depots, degrading the ability of Kataib Hezbollah's group, who was accused of a rocket attack that killed 2 American and 1 British soldiers at Iraqi airbase. McKenzie accused Tehran of continuing to support attacks against the U.S. and coalition forces via its proxies in Iraq. To maintain an effective ability to counter such threats, the Pentagon had authorized keeping the two aircraft carriers in the Gulf for the first time since 2012. That's all for today's news. Thanks for joining us and goodbye.